What if I told you that one man, one single man, didn't just defeat his opponents inside that ring, he ended them. Not their careers, not their momentum, their entire identity as professional wrestlers. There are wrestlers on this list who never, and I mean never, recovered from what Brock Lesnar did to them. And nobody is talking about it. Welcome back to WrestleScope, where we don't sugarcoat the business. I'm going deep today, real deep, because what Brock Lesnar did to these superstars wasn't just physical, it was psychological, it was career-altering, and in some cases, it was almost personal. Stay with me until the end, because the last name on this list is going to absolutely infuriate you, and deep down, you already know who it is. Here's what most people misunderstand about Brock Lesnar. They see the size, they see the aggression, they see the accomplishments. NCAA Division I heavyweight champion, WWE champion at just 25 years old, the man who conquered The Undertaker's undefeated WrestleMania streak, the conqueror of John Cena, the UFC heavyweight champion. And they think, yeah, he's just a big scary dude who wins a lot. But that's not what makes Brock Lesnar dangerous. What makes Brock Lesnar the single most destructive force in professional wrestling history is this. He doesn't just win matches, he reframes how the audience sees his opponents forever. When Lesnar is run with you, the crowd doesn't look at you the same way. Your music hits, and somewhere in the back of every fan's mind is that image of you getting folded like a lawn chair, tossed across the ring like a rag doll, or pinned so cleanly that it almost felt disrespectful. That's not losing, that's erasure. And today, we're talking about three men who experienced exactly that, and one of them should have never been put in that position to begin with. Let's start here, September 2019. Kofi Kingston, the feel-good story of WrestleMania 35, a man who waited 11 years for his moment. 11 years of dedication, a man who earned the WWE Championship and carried it with pride, dignity, and passion. And then, Brock Lesnar cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase. The bell rang. 1, F5, 3. 8 seconds. Some counted at 7. Let's be generous. Call it 10. Kofi Kingston's reign, and if we're being real, Kofi Kingston's aura as a main event player, died in under 10 seconds. Now here's where it gets infuriating. The crowd didn't just watch Kofi lose, they watched him get humiliated. There was no fight, there was no struggle, there was no moment of resilience that Kofi could build on. He was a prop, a speed bump on Brock Lesnar's journey. And after that, Kofi never sniffed that main event level again the same way. You can blame creative, you can blame circumstance, but Brock Lesnar was the weapon that was used to end that chapter permanently, and the way it was done didn't just defeat Kofi Kingston, it quietly told the audience he didn't belong there in the first place. That is the Lesnar effect. Now, before the Roman Reigns loyalists come for me in the comments, and I know you will, hear me out. Roman Reigns today is arguably the greatest character in professional wrestling. The Tribal Chief era is untouchable. But let me take you back to 2018, SummerSlam, Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. What happened that night wasn't just a match, it was a burial witnessed by an entire generation. Lesnar hit Roman with 5 F5s, 5. Roman kicked out of every single one. And yet somehow, that match made Roman look weaker, not stronger, because the crowd wasn't behind Roman. They were cheering Lesnar, brutalizing him. And when Lesnar finally won, the arena erupted. The fans cheered the beating. Think about what that means. WWE spent years trying to get Roman Reigns over as the top babyface, and Brock Lesnar, in one night, crystallized every reason the audience resisted it. He held up a mirror to the disconnect between what WWE wanted and what the fans felt. Roman survived Lesnar physically, but the babyface Roman project never truly recovered. It took a heel turn, a complete identity reinvention, for Roman to become who he is today. In a twisted way, Brock Lesnar forced Roman Reigns to become the greatest version of himself, but he had to destroy the old one first. This one still hurts people.
Years later, it still hurts people. April 2014, WrestleMania 30, New Orleans. The Undertaker's streak, 21-0, the most sacred number in WWE history. And then the unthinkable happened. 1, 2, 3.
The arena went silent. Grown men wept. Children stood in shock. The camera cut to faces in the crowd who genuinely could not process what they had just witnessed. Because nobody, and I mean nobody, believed it was actually going to happen. But here's the twist that nobody really talks about enough. Ending the streak didn't just affect The Undertaker, it contaminated the streak retroactively. Suddenly, every single person The Undertaker had defeated at WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, CM Punk, Edge, all of them, their losses felt slightly diminished, because the mystique that made those matches legendary was the invincibility of The Undertaker. Brock Lesnar didn't just beat a man at WrestleMania, he rewrote the emotional history of an entire era. And The Undertaker himself? The dead man was never quite the same after that night. How could he be? His greatest achievement had been taken away, and it was taken away by a man who showed up part-time, collected a paycheck, and left. The most permanent damage Brock Lesnar ever caused in professional wrestling wasn't to a career. It was to a legacy. But here's what I really want to leave you with. The true victim of the Brock Lesnar destruction tour isn't Kofi, isn't Roman, it isn't even The Undertaker. It's us, the fans. Every time Brock Lesnar showed up, cashed a 9-figure paycheck, worked a handful of dates a year, and walked out with a title or ended a moment that other men worked their entire lives to build, we sat there and accepted it. We bought it. We popped for it. We trended it on Twitter. We were complicit. And WWE knew it, because Brock Lesnar's destructive power wasn't just physical, it was commercial. He sold pay-per-views, he moved merchandise, he generated mainstream press. So the next time someone asks you why WWE Creative continues to sacrifice talented wrestlers on the altar of part-time stars, the answer is simple. Because we let them. That is the real story of Brock Lesnar. Not the suplexes, not the championships. It's the fact that a locker room full of men who showed up every single week, who bled, sacrificed, and dedicated their lives to this business, were deemed less valuable than one man who showed up whenever he felt like it. And the saddest part? Some of those men never got their spot back. So here's what I want from you right now. Drop a comment below. Tell me which Lesnar victim hurt you the most. Was it Kofi's 10-second humiliation, the streak ending, or do you think Roman Reigns actually owes Lesnar a thank you for forcing his evolution? I genuinely want to know where you stand. If this video made you feel something, angry, nostalgic, fired up, then smash that like button, because that's exactly the reaction this topic deserves. And if you're new to WrestleScope, welcome. We don't do surface level takes here, we go deeper. So hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because the next video, it's going to be even more controversial than this one. I'll see you in the next one.